Today on Focal Point, we're going to learn what it's like to be behind the wheel as Car Corner's host with the college's Automotive Technology Assistant Professor, Dan Reed. We're also checking out how much students know about their government and taking a look at one of the college's many clubs. Stay with us. Welcome to Focal Point here on CCP TV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. I'm Darlene Muntz, a student in the Communication Arts curriculum. We have a very interesting program today and a special guest, Car Corner's host, Dan Reed. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Dan is an assistant professor in an automotive technology curriculum and has been with the college since 1997 and teaching since 2000. Some of the courses he teaches in the Auto Tech program are Introduction to Automotive Technology, Basic Electric Systems, and Engine Repair. Based in CCP's West Regional Center, his students learn the necessary skills and experience that will lead them to a promising career in the automotive industry. Hello, Dan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Please share with us what Car Corner is about.
A cooking show format with cars. So basically show people what's involved with a specific car repair. There's usually, there's one topic per episode. Mm-hmm. And I try to give folks a little bit of a background. Sometimes some of the history of how this component of a vehicle evolved, and then some of the ways that they tend to fail, a little bit about how they work, and then we actually go through and perform a replacement procedure of whatever that component is we're talking about.
How did the show first start?
The show started about 4 years ago. I was approached by some of the staff here at the college when they were basically revamping the television station, the network here at the college. And they approached us to do a TV show that was sort of a showcase, a little bit about the program, and then also a little bit of a do-it-yourself DIY type of show. So we just, give people a little bit of an educational background, and we've done 45 shows, which, we've done a good number.
Aside from being on TV or up on YouTube, are there any differences between doing the show and the classes you teach?
It's different in the sense that, you don't see it as a first-person student experience, but really the work that we do on the show, the tools, the equipment, the cars, those are the same. It's the same equipment that the students utilize.
What do your students think about your show?
It's interesting because I've had students that come to school. The show's been on now for 4 years, and they don't even know that the show exists. So I get students that, they're students here at CCP. They don't even know that the show is on. And at the opposite end of that, I actually have students that found out about our program through the TV show. So they obviously know about it. Now, what we do is occasionally we'll use snippets because the show is available on the internet. We'll use snippets sometimes in the classroom because there's some things that can just be shown in a nice short block, or maybe there was a really good camera sequence that really captured what we're going to be doing in the lab. So I'll show them that ahead of time, and then I'll have them go out and then do the work in the shop.
Is that what made them come to CCP?
I don't want to say that they came because of me, but what I really like about the show is that it gives the general public a chance to really see a little bit about what we do when we teach.
We're going to shift gears for a moment and take a quick look at Car Corner.
Welcome to Car Corner. Today, we're going to be talking about electric starter motors. What we have here is we have our Honda Accord, and it has possibly an internal engine problem. It has a misfire. Airbags, while they have saved countless lives, They are extremely dangerous to work with while you're working on a car. Thanks for watching Car Corner. Drive safely. Are you rolling?
Your episode also features bloopers on the show. How often do you mess up or goof up while you're on camera?
Some of the bloopers are genuine. Okay. Other ones, we're there for 4 or 5 hours. Our shop is unfortunately not air conditioned, so with the lights from the film crew, it gets to be pretty hot, and sometimes I just need a silly break. So I'll sort of just come out of character just to make myself laugh and break the tension.
Aside from seeing you play around on the set, what are some of the benefits that the student and audience can get from seeing the program?
I try to pick topics that are typical repairs that people might have to have paid for, and I want to show that. I want to show what you got. Not just that somebody took your money and then now your car's fixed. It's not magic. I think a lot of people, a lot of the general public, think that maybe it's done through a computer and it's a ripoff or something like that, but it really isn't. I mean, there's really a lot of physical work. There's a lot of investment in tools and personal training that technicians go through, and I like to show that. That's to me, that's part of the goal of the show.
What can we look forward to next season?
So what we have is we have a couple really neat episodes coming up. One is a student of ours, a student here at the college, actually has built a competition level drifting race car.
Okay.
Built it himself, and it's a really, really neat piece. It's a race car. It's not a street legal car that's kind of done up to be a part-time race car. This is a full-time race car, and the student Joe Sheridan has really put a lot of effort into it, and was kind enough to bring the car down to our shop, which I had to come on a trailer because you can't drive it on the street. Bring it into the garage, and then give basically Car Corner a tour of what he did to the car, and then in the process of that, explaining the differences between a street car and a car made for a track.
You can catch Car Corner on CCP TV every day at 4 p.m. and midnight on Comcast Channel 53 or FiOS Channel 21. Full episodes are also available on YouTube by subscribing to CCP TV's YouTube channel, CCP TV 53. Thank you for being with us, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
How much do you know about the government? Do you even know who your state representatives are? Let's find out what students around campus have to say.
The length of time for a senator's term is 4 years.
5 years?
4 years.
4 years.
As long as it wants.
A senator can stay in Congress for 6 years.
The White House.
Washington.
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C.?
District of Columbia.
The two parts or houses of Congress are the House of Representatives and the Senate.
House of Representatives and the House of...
Partisan and bipartisan.
No, the House and the Senate. The House of Representatives and House and Senate.
The date that the term of Congress begins is January 20th.
No, is it in November?
I believe that'll be January 30th.
The date each term of Congress begins is January 1st. The minimum age for a senator is 19.
42.
21.
30.
32.
Minimum age. 35?
The highest position in Congress is the Speaker of the House.
President?
Speaker of the House.
The President.
Speaker of the House.
Each state can have 2 senators.
17.
2.
1, 2,
6.
Each state can have 2 senators.
The more you know can really help. Now let's check out what one of our student clubs is up to this semester.
As veterans, military veterans have a deep camaraderie between the branches. So we wanted a place, or we wanted a group where we could all get together and help the community, help the school and the outlying community.
Going to the Army is like going to college. You're leaving home, you're going to a new place, and you don't know anyone there. You don't feel comfortable. The same thing actually happens when you leave the service. You feel you've made connections with the people you served with, and when you leave, you feel like you're leaving home, you're going to a new place, and those people aren't there to support you anymore.
CCP started in the 60s, and of course after the returning veterans from Vietnam went back to school, they started their own club, and at the time it was called the Veterans Association. There was a lapse after the 70s where there was no club activity between the veterans and CCP. It wasn't until 2006, I broached the subject of starting up the club again with the amount of returning veterans coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq.
Being a part of the Veterans Club and just the support we're getting from the Veterans Office here has been tremendous. I find it interesting that they don't have other places like this at other schools. I think this should be a part of the natural fabric of higher learning.
Coming to places like the Student Veterans Club or the Veteran Service Office, it helps connecting with people who understand where you're coming from and who've already come across the obstacles you're about to come across.
Organizations like the Veterans Club really help to reassure me and reassure veterans that you do have the bond. You can still maintain the bond, the camaraderie that you had while you were in service when you get out.
It's the same services that are offered, potentially a registration or financial aid, that same service can be given to you here if you're a veteran. I guess you kind of cut out of a lot of the time of waiting in line or trying to get advice on what forms you need to fill out and how to fill them out. Every veteran should know that in a lot of our educational institutions, especially in CCP, there are networks of veterans there waiting for them to help them cope with the first steps they need to take in order to get back into the flow of society.
Another example of the great clubs we have here at CCP. Well, that's it for today. Thank you again, Dan, for being our guest.
Thank you.
And I want to thank the viewers for joining us. You have been watching Focal Point, the Community College of Philadelphia's student magazine show here on CCP TV. All segments for Focal Point are produced by students in the digital video production curriculum. I'm Darlene Muntz. See you next time.